Hey, this is Michael with MTG Hype, and got a little late night video for you. Wasn't really planning on making one tonight, but then I found some spoilers for Magic Origins, which is coming out in about a month, I guess. A little over a month. I think it comes out late next month. Before I get into that, I want to say, look at that. Look at that painting. Look at that painting of those tigers. Isn't that amazing? I think it's hilarious. All right, so we're going to get to the spoilers. All right, I'm sorry. I just think that painting's hilarious. Okay, so the first spoiler that we have is a blue card called Jhessian Thief. It is a 3 mana, 1/3, but it does have very interesting. It has prowess. Its first ability is prowess. Its second ability is whenever Jhessian Thief deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So this is something we've seen before on Scroll Thief. There are some other cards that have it. It's definitely been used before, especially in blue. It's pretty common to see that second ability on a creature. But I do think the prowess is very interesting. Um, you know, Obviously we saw prowess in this last block quite a bit, and we did hear that supposedly there was going to be an evergreen, a new evergreen mechanic, a new mechanic that would be present in a lot of the different sets. So prowess, I think fits that bill. Uh, I wouldn't necessarily say that I would have expected to see prowess, but here it is again. So, we have to expect that there are probably going to be some other prowess creatures in this set, and prowess might be a mechanic that we see for the next few years, for as long as it stays viable. All right. So the second card that we have here is Lightning Javelin. It's a removal spell, costs 4 mana. Lightning Javelin deals 3 damage to target creature or player. Scry 1. I don't necessarily see this being a highly playable card, simply because it's 4 mana. I mean, there are 4 mana burn spells that do work out, like Stoke the Flames, but Stoke the Flames obviously was pretty different. It had Convoke and it did 4 damage and works really well in token decks, whereas Lightning Javelin, it kind of gives you two different things, and neither of them are, I don't think either of them are great enough to justify their use. Now in limited, I think that could be a pretty good card. Just to have some removal and you get to scry. Not bad in limited, but in constructed, I just can't really see anybody playing it. So another thing we can say, there's going to be scry in this set. There are going to be some sorceries and possibly instants that have scry, and we know that when Modern Masters 2 was coming out, supposedly one of the reasons that they didn't include Serum Visions is because it had the scry mechanic, and supposedly there was not going to be scry in Modern Masters 2. Well, this one does have scry, so maybe, we already know that Serum Visions is going to come back as a promo. Will it come back for Origins? I don't know. We'll have to see. Alright, so our third card is Boggart Brute, and it is a 3 mana red card, which is a 3/2 creature, and it has Menace. Now, I have not seen this called Menace before, but I have seen the ability. The ability is this creature can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. So I have seen that ability before, but I've never seen it called menace. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's a new term for it. So maybe we'll see some other creatures that have menace as well. And finally, I do want to include this because I haven't put it in a video before. If you've already seen this, I apologize, but I was actually spoiled a few weeks ago. It is the Hixus Prison Warden, and this is supposed to be contained in an intro pack. We don't even actually know what the whole card says because it was obstructed by another product, so we couldn't really see, what the power and toughness of the creature was. But it is a 5 mana white creature, a legendary creature which has flash, and he also has whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, if Hixus Prison Warden entered the battlefield this turn, exile that creature until Hixus leaves the battlefield. So with Hixus Prison Warden, I would say that, since we don't know what the power and the toughness is, I would tend to speculate that this is probably maybe something like a 2/4 or a 3/4 kind of creature. Some people were saying that they expect it to be a 5/5, or at least a 4/5. I really can't see it even being a 4/4. And my reasoning for this is that a creature that has flash typically, that's it's going to be rare that you see one that is really highly powered. I mean, there are some, but especially humans. I mean, there's also not that many humans that are above, 2/4, 3/4. Now there is an exception. Recently there was Surak Dragonclaw, and that was a 6/6 that had flash and was human, but that is very rare. That is a very rare card. I mean, not just in terms of rarity. I mean, it is a mythic, but I mean, just in terms of, over time, we haven't seen that many humans that have flash that have that high of a, power and toughness. So I really can't see this being like a 6/6. He also, you required 3 different colors of mana to even play him, whereas Hixus, Prison Warden, he only requires 1 type of mana. So I think that's another thing to consider. And then finally, of course, it's an intro pack creature. So, personally, I think he could still be playable. If anytime that you can exile a creature and you could potentially block another one using flash, I think it creates something interesting, a new interesting way of dealing with your opponent's creatures. So those are all the spoilers I have for you for now. Uh, if there are more spoilers released, I will get them out as fast as possible. Just tune in to MTG Hype, follow, like, subscribe. I've got everything down in the description. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you again. Thanks.